Hello everyone and welcome to today's Sons of the Forest spawning tutorial. Today we are going to be covering how to use Toni's Structure API to make your own custom furniture and blueprints, all working within the game itself. This is how it looks in game. These structures can be saved and also work in multiplayer too. For this tutorial, you are going to need Blender 2.8 or higher. You will need Toni's Blender add-on. You can find it here. You will also need the latest version of Redloader, and you will also need Toni's tablet mod. Once you have that installed, go in game and open your survival booklet, and instead of the survival booklet, you should see this tablet. You want to go to furniture, and any decorations that you add to your blueprints folder should appear in here. So that's how you get your blueprints, and then you basically click on build, and they will appear. To install the Blender add-on, you're going to want to go to Edit, Preferences, Install, and go to the place that you have the Blender add-on extracted to. In my case, I have it in Documents right here. I just click on this, Install Add-on, and then you want to make sure that the Blueprint Helper is ticked on like this. Then it should be ready to go. Let's get started now. Right here I have a pumpkin stairway that I want to get added to the game. You will notice this side panel right here. The first thing you want to do is add some collision boxes to your mesh, like this. This mesh already has collision boxes though, so I don't need to do this, but in order to make it so that, say, the player steps on part of this mesh, they will collide with it. What you want to do is you want to hit Set Up Collision, and whatever part this covers is where the player will collide with. Now the next thing is that in Sons of the Forest, all furniture has materials that are required to build it. Each separate mesh that you have in the scene here counts as one ingredient for the parts of the furniture that you export, except for colliders. Here's how you can specify what ingredient a certain part of the mesh requires. First, click on Search, type in the object that you want to use for that part of the mesh. In this case, I want to use a log plank, and hit Apply. Do this for every mesh object that requires a material to build. Like in this case, maybe I want a leaf for this. And be sure to hit Apply every time. And don't change this item number, just let it set when it's set. Don't do this for colliders, just leave the colliders alone. They should be at 0 item ID, and those are there basically for the player to collide with. Now let's go over how to add your own textures to whatever mesh you have in the scene currently. Right now this mesh currently has a material and texture associated with it already. So let's go ahead and delete that, and I'll show you how to do it from scratch. Let's say we want to add a material to this. Real quick, don't add materials to colliders, just to meshes like this. I hit New, and I start out with a principled BSDF. And what you want to do is you want to press Space, look for Image Texture, put it in here, Base Color, and then from here you can click on Open, and then put whatever texture you have in your files. And you can adjust the roughness, metallic. I believe that this system that Toni has supports roughness and metallic so far. So yeah. Be aware, however, that it doesn't support emissives yet. Emission textures are basically light up and glowing textures like you see in here. Basically, if you have something like this, then you can make it so that it glows, but it doesn't support that yet. And at this point, this furniture item is actually ready to export. The first thing is that you want to select all of your objects. I'm just going to hit A to select all of them, because I know that all the objects I have in the scene are a part of the furniture. Now hit Export, and go to Include. Make sure that Custom Properties is ticked on. I recommend also having selected objects on, but it all depends on how you want to export it. Go to wherever you exported your GLB. Copy it, go to your mods folder and look for the blueprints folder, and then paste your GLB into this folder. Be sure to make sure that you have the tablet mod installed. It might be named something different by the time Toni releases this, but just consult him for what the proper mod or resource is that you need. Now at this point we can just go in game right now. I'm already in game. And once you're in game, you want to make sure that the tablet, you check right here, put your key in for this. I set mine to P. Then you go in game, press P, and then open your survival booklet. And you should see this tablet here. And you can find the model that you have right here. Then you just place it, build it like that. I'm in creative mode, so this let me build all this stuff pretty instantly. Calvin and Virginia can walk on these, depending on how you have your structure set up. In this case, they can walk on these, I know. And this also works in multiplayer, and the location of its saves, as well as the status of the items you built. It's a pretty good mod. You can also pick it up and move it around like so. You can also dismantle it, no problem. So that's just about it. If you have any further questions, feel free to ask in the Sons of the Forest Discord. There's a modding section there. You can speak to Toni and the other mod devs. They're usually there and available to answer questions.